Everyone, Wednesday evening to you. We're almost halfway through the month of September, and the weather over the next several days, it's hard to complain about, really. Now, we had some complaints earlier today because the forecast went a little bit sideways for a time this morning. We'll talk about that in this video and talk about the updated weekend forecast, and we'll go beyond the weekend as well here on the Valley's most in-depth weather forecast video. Looking at the temperature trace today compared to yesterday. Of course, yesterday was a real struggle. It was our coolest day since the tail end of May. A lot of us failed to get out of the 60s on Tuesday. Today we got off to a slow start with the clouds and the fog, but then once the sun broke out, it got warmer this afternoon, and actually we got pretty close to our seasonal averages across the area this afternoon. Now, at the start of the day today, most of the fog, as expected, was out in north central Ohio, Mansfield to Cleveland to Akron. But then some of that fog started to meander east, and so, even though we had a little sun right at daybreak, look at this time-lapse video from Youngstown. Whoosh, here comes the clouds and the fog. It got kind of just gray and dismal for several hours this morning. How to make a meteorologist grumpy. When I got up this morning and looked at the satellite, I thought, uh-oh, that's not good. We were talking about how today would be nice from start to finish, and it turned out nice this afternoon, but definitely a little bit of a surprise how long the clouds and fog stuck around this morning. All about, at least mostly about, I should say, an atmospheric inversion. Now, in a normal setup, as you go up in height through the atmosphere, the air cools, and air parcels can mix, they can rise, they can fall, and a well-mixed atmosphere is one that typically you don't see a lot of low clouds and fog with it. But sometimes the atmosphere goes the opposite way and you get a little inversion where the air actually starts to warm as you go aloft, and that creates kind of a lid or a cap on the atmosphere. This is important when we're talking about severe weather sometimes, but it's also important for routine days like this because sometimes when you get one of these inversions that kind of puts a lid on the atmosphere, things can get trapped underneath that inversion, that the point in which the air starts getting warmer as you go up. Anything underneath that can get stuck. The low clouds, the fog, sometimes pollutants, anything in the air can kind of just get stuck for a while until that inversion breaks. And as we get deeper into the fall season, it tends to typically take a little bit longer for inversions to break because the sun is not as strong or as high in the sky as it is earlier in the summer season. So, yeah, it turned out nice today, but a little bit of a forecast bust for a time through the morning and midday today. Not a lot of barn burners on the national radar and satellite this evening. Showery weather, Intermountain West, down into the High Plains states. Some showers for Florida. That's about it. Most of the eastern U.S. is in great shape this evening and will be in great shape again tomorrow. And this drier air is reaching from some fairly far south latitudes this evening. Our dew points are in the upper 50s. Actually, the dew points lower this evening in Charlotte and in Raleigh. Even Atlanta is down in the mid 50s for dew points. They really are loving this all the way to the beaches. Myrtle Beach, a dew point of 61 in Charleston. They don't see air masses this refreshing very often from, say, May through September. So this is something that no doubt they are thoroughly enjoying down in the southeast. All right, back here at home, nice clear sky this evening for a quick but pretty nice space station flyby. This is only going to be visible for about 2.5-3 minutes. 9:35, look in the west-southwest sky, disappearing kind of in that same quadrant of the sky, west-southwest, at about 9:38, reaching a maximum elevation above our heads, 38 degrees. We've had higher and brighter space station flybys, but this will be a pretty good one to check out. Very pleasant evening, so check that out. Just a reminder, the space station does not blink. If you're seeing something up there going by that's blinking, that's an airplane. The space station doesn't blink. It's just a fast-moving dot of light. That's actually a satellite with human beings on it, so always cool to check out. All right, maybe a couple of patches of fog to start tomorrow. I don't think it'll be as widespread of an issue as it was this morning. Still a nice day overall tomorrow. Lots of sun. Now, despite the abundance of sun, temperatures will fall a little bit short of the average tomorrow in the lower 70s. Just a few fair weather clouds in the mix then for Friday evening. High school football, great shape there. Lots of warm air for the upcoming weekend. Our forecast has not changed for the upcoming weekend. The only change I made today was to add a passing shower or a thunderstorm possibility late Sunday night into Monday, maybe early Monday night. Looks like a weak front's going to slide in, and I mean weak, it might totally just wash out, but that boundary will be close enough by with a warm and increasingly humid air mass in place. Maybe we squeeze out a shower or a storm, but at this point I don't think it's much rain, and overall, yeah, rain chances pretty low through the next 7 days. Mentioned last evening on this video that there were signs that the last maybe 5 days of the month would turn a little bit cooler. You start to see that reflected a little bit on today's 8 to 14 day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. Notice the neutral odds sneaking into the Great Lakes. You can kind of picture a ridge building out in the west and more of a trough going through the Great Lakes right around this time. So I think towards the end of next week into the following weekend, we'll lose most of the abnormal August-like warmth. 80s will probably be replaced by at least some 70s and maybe even some 60s for daytime highs, but that's about 8 or 9, maybe 10 days away. Until then, the warmth is definitely going to be the story. Thanks as always for watching Weather for Weather Geeks on this Wednesday evening. I'll see you right back here for a weekend forecast update and much more on Thursday.